Welcome to Unprimed. Today you're going to see me making the rest of the combat patrol, all the way through to priming the Dark Angels, and alongside that we're going to look at a few of my first paintings. So the first up is the one I bought and talked about originally, which was the 3 Tyranids, and you can see here that I used a YouTube tutorial on the coconut crab theme, and I used a dry palette pad, which is kind of waxy paper, and 3 brushes. Just followed the tutorial along. After that I watched War Hipster, who taught me how to blend on YouTube, and you can see here in the wings I was particularly proud of kind of building up the glazes, again still using that waxy paper. Then we're on to where I tried to dry brush, and I was least happy with this, so I primed black and then dry brushed over with white for the batch painting from the starter set. And as I went on, I got better at using a mixture of layers and base and contrast paints. And again, this is a War Hipster tutorial. I really liked watching his stuff. I learnt a lot from his videos. You can see in the tentacles at the mouth and in the kind of plumes of smoke at the back. And this was a range of different paints. After I did that, I kind of got used to creating my own colour schemes. So this is the Death Leaper. And if you look at the tentacles in the mouth, I kind of really went to town on that kind of ultra vibrancy while still sticking with the High Fleet Leviathan purples. I was really happy with that. Again, still using the palette. So a lot on kind of OSL, and this was my first kind of foray into trying to get a glowing gun barrel on my Tyranid. But again, I was still using the palette paper, which was kind of, I didn't realise at the time, holding me back. Again, you can see me building that up as I went through, trying to get that kind of glowing effect. Really had it in my mind that I wanted that for my Tyranids, like this organic glow. Didn't quite get there, but I was happy with it. And then I switched to the wet palette. So this is really where the game changed for me, and I could blend and colour mix, and you can see I had to go at mixing that kind of heat sword, and it allowed me to do a lot more. So with that I could kind of have a go at non-metallic metal. So you can see there in the blade kind of painted and blended colours, and because they don't dry very quickly you can kind of mix up a range. It allows you to do that. But the big game changer for me was when I got the airbrush. It was only a £70 or sorry £80 one from Amazon with a kind of small compressor tank included, but it allowed me to get paints on in a completely different way. And the next I'm going to show you is going back to that kind of wet palette. So this was me trying to get that OSL on the gun barrels again with just the wet palette. However, it looked more rusty and it wasn't glowing, wasn't sort of moving it around. So when I did it again after I'd got the airbrush, this was the last thing I managed to create, and this is really the only time I've been massively happy with that object source lighting. So I talked about OSL, and that's where the light is coming from an object and going sort of in the surrounding areas, kind of making it look realistically glowing. And I did that on the 2 gun barrels, and again here you can see on the heat exhaust and the lava at the base. And it really, I wanted to create a sense of heat, of kind of sort of warmth, and managed to do that. I'm planning to do something similar with the Dark Angels and the lava bases. I'm not sure what yet. So again, if you've got any comments or any theories, you've seen the bases, what could I do with it? Now, I do want some sort of glowing bases. I might go for that kind of cracked, scorched earth thing, similar to the ones you can see here, but I'm not sure yet. One of the things I found when using the airbrush to start with is that I was massively underprepared for what a shift it was. I always got told that as long as you were trying to improve model by model and you were happy with what you were doing, then that was the right thing to do, and I agree 100% with that. But I became really frustrated when I first started using the airbrush, and actually I had to watch quite a few basic YouTube tutorials on kind of creating line or spraying larger areas. But yeah, I was quite happy in the end with how that came out. Right, so this is the final bits primed and ready to go. So the next one will be me painting. Thanks for listening.